The honest truth about running a reselling business. And stick around for some cool, unique items that we sold this past week.
I found a stack of records in my attic today. An Elvis picture disc and Kenny's big old hay. Put 'em up on eBay for the day was done. Watch the bids roll in till the morning sun.
I got some cool jewelry to show you and cool pickups. I was in Reno, if you saw the short. I was over in Reno and didn't really, necessarily mean to pick stuff up. We were there to visit family, and but hey, can't help ourselves, right? Um, Whiskey. I bought this last week. If you watched Thursday's show, this is the one. I still have everything here, but I had that one last week on Thursday, and this is the one I got along with it. I purchased 10th Street. So 10th Street, that's in reference to 10th Street in San Jose, if you're familiar with that street. And really, really good. So this should really, like I said in the previous episode, they import their malted barley. And malted barley, it's 100% malted barley. Therefore, and they import it from Scotland. So therefore, it should taste like a Scotch. And I'm a huge fan of Scotch. I really do like Scotch whiskey. And I've had many of 10th Street's different expressions already, and they are all spectacular, amazing. And again, they can't call it a Scotch because it doesn't come from Scotland. Well, the malted barley comes from Scotland. The whole process of making it, bottling it, needs to be done in Scotland in order for it to be called a Scotch whiskey. It's still whiskey. It's just an American whiskey, and California coast. Anything California to me is the best. Because I'm from California, so 42% alcohol by volume, so that means to 84 proof is what we're looking at. A blend of single malts and light whiskeys. So, and they got 94 points at, what is this? Best of American Blended Whiskey 2022. So, that's always good. One that really took off, that scored really well in local shows and events and competitions, and I've talked about it before, is the Henry McKenna. The Henry McKenna bottled in bond, and once that started getting awards and everything, the price took off on it. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I got to remember, it's about $70-ish a bottle now. I'm like, man, I remember when it was $30 a bottle. It was so good that I never, it would stay in my collection for not too long because it was a very good. It was a very good drink, very good bourbon. There we go. That up there. Boom. Okay. Oh man. Oh yeah. There's a funkiness to Scotch, but it's good. It's a good funk. I've talked about this before. It's like blue cheese. If you like blue cheese, blue cheese is funky, but man, it tastes so good. Especially at if you have a cheesecake next to you, the factory chopped salad, so good. It comes with and I think it comes with chicken or you add chicken to it. I like to get the chicken in it. It's chicken. It has some, I think, walnuts in it. A great like vinaigrette dressing. It has blue cheese. It has apples. Just a combination of all the flavors. It's a delicious salad. Very delicious salad. But that's the kind of funk. It's not like a weird funk. It could be to some people, but it's kind of like that funk that like blue cheese gives. But it's so good, like a blue cheese burger. Oh man, not to clean glass. Okay, nice little pour there. Okay. Yeah, cork back on there. Yeah, I gotta put these back in my cabinet. Or they actually have never made it to the cabinet yet, so they're gonna. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! We got a little splash going on there. Oh man, there it is. Nice light golden color there. I was trying to aerate it. Gotta be a little more careful. Okay. A little bit of aeration with it. But it's nice and light, and it's promoting itself as um, a world wine and spirits competition is where they got 94 points. It was in New York as a single malt and light whiskeys is what they're calling. They're kind of promoting it as a light whiskey. Bottles are interpretation of the essence of California and its diverse people who can bring something unique to this land. So let's give it a try here. Oh, that's good. Oh yeah, that is really good. It packs a little bit of heat, a little bit of punch there, which I'm kind of surprised. Bring something unique to our land or tribute to this melting pot. Starts with 2 California-made single malts. 2 of our California-made single malts, the double gold-winning STR and the gold medal-winning Distiller's Cut. They combined with 2 amazing pot still distilled light whiskeys that we that we sourced from the old Seagram plant in. Oh, I can't pronounce that. Distilled. The light whiskeys are distilled at a higher proof. Okay, so that makes sense then. That makes sense. It makes sense that it has a bit of a punch. But yeah, oh man. Okay. It's providing quite a bit of a punch there, which I was kind of caught off guard by, but oh man, that's really good. It still maintains the that Scotch flavor for me. Oh, that's really good. That is out. Oh man, just another 10th Street expression that I like. It is definitely light, but packs a punch. The flavor is there, the heat is there. It's just enough heat. It's probably not just enough heat. It will, if you're not used to it, it might knock you back in your seat. It's not that, as far as it's proof. It's 84 proof, so it's not wild like some other ones I have. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking of going back to get the barrel proof. What was it? Oh man, I talked about it last time. I can't remember the name right off the top of my head. Elijah Craig. I've been thinking about going back to get the barrel proof Elijah Craig. Ooh, I might do it this week. I don't know. We'll see. But it packs a heavy punch, but it dissipates really, really quickly and leaves just these nice subtle notes. Oh yeah, this is so good. I mean, it's to me it kind of it reminds me of a Brickladich single barrel, but oh, that's really good. No, the Brickladich Latte, which I thought I had a bottle of it, but I guess I don't. I must have finished that. It was so good, but that's what this reminds me of. Okay, that's really really good. Um, Let me show you. Let me see. Let me see if I'll do this right. Brickladich. Brickladich. Because I can't. I don't. My spelling is horrible. I'll tell you that right now. Brickladich. It's not even going to get it right. Okay, hold on. Hold on, because I want to show you a picture of this bottle. It's kind of cool. Okay, here it is right here. This is I want to show you. It has that like that what do you call it? Tiffany blue. It's so cool. It's a cool bottle. And a great drink. I mean, it really it packs a punch, but then after that wears off, there's all these just classic subtle notes of Scotch whiskey that I love, that I really like. So really cool. All right. So we're in Reno visiting family, and obviously we stopped at a Goodwill over there. And I got a few things, nothing crazy. I mean, as far as the how much we bought, we didn't buy too much, but I did find this camera there, upside down. It's the I believe it's the SD 1000, which goes for about 80. I've seen it up to $150. So I picked it up for $7.99. So $7.99 is what we got it for up in Reno. And it was obviously it was in this box, and I was kind of hoping that camera was in there, but it wasn't. It was this one here, which is still a good camera. The only issue is, and I gotta figure out where I have all my batteries for these things. I collect these batteries. I collect batteries. If I see a Canon battery, I'll pick it up. If I see a Nikon battery, I'll pick it up. Just in the event that I ever come across a camera that needs a battery, which this one does. So no battery, but even if I have to order a battery, it should still be worth it. I'm not going to order a Canon battery because it might be too expensive. I'll probably just order go on Amazon and order a Amazon special battery. But if it works, $80 on the low end, $150 on the high end. So pretty cool. Pretty cool little digital camera. And 7.1 megapixels. Again, it was the Canon SD 1000 is what that is. Then we did get some jewelry as well too, and by some jewelry I mean a few bags. But here's something I wanted to show you. Here is this little bracelet, little gold bracelet. Oh, it's not all gold, but it has gold in it. What is it? 14. What did it say? 14 karat. I gotta either go further back because I'm nearsighted, or just take my glasses off and look, and then everything just becomes super magnified when I take my glasses off. But 14 karat, not too much gold there. I mean, it's just little pieces of gold here and there. But what I wanted to show you here is this is jade, and it's real jade. Now jade comes in all these different colors. It even comes in black, comes in white. It comes in this orangey red color. It comes in this like yellowy color. Obviously, we all know the green. It also comes in a lavender purplish color as well too. So there's many different shades of jade. Typically in lower end jade, that coloring comes from dyes. They'll dye it. They'll actually dye it. The most sought after jade, and obviously you're gonna want it like verified and certified and all that. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Imperial Jade, and it's just a really deep, rich green, translucent, but yet rich green color. Is the most sought after and the most valuable jade. Although there's so much, there's so much jade out there, so much and it's kind of hard to really determine what's real, or what's really dyed, what's not really dyed, what's really good quality jade, what's not good quality jade. It's hard to the untrained eye or to the untrained feel of it. It's very difficult even for experts. It's incredibly difficult when it comes to jade. But something like this, you can pretty much see that it is not dyed. I mean, at least I can tell it's not dyed. And the quality and the craftsmanship is just amazing. So really cool. And I wanted to show you just that that jade isn't just jade, or jadeite isn't just in green. It's in multiple colors, even black. Although I forget what there's another there's some like they may pass it off as jade, but it's not. I can't remember the name of it. But if it comes to me, it comes to me. I can't remember the name right off the top of my head. But there's another. It's like jade, and sometimes people will use that instead because it's cheaper than jade. But really cool. But really cool piece there. So little Asian inspired bracelet, pretty cool. And then the other thing I wanted to show you as well too, it's a really cool chain here, but really it's a Monet piece. For for those of you that know jewelry, here's the little thing right there. It is Monet, but that's gonna be impossible, camera. So just trust me, it's Monet. But it's just a really, really cool. Oops, coming off camera there, and that Barney behind me is starting to show. It's just a really long, cool chain. Perhaps you can see like the. It's really, really cool, and like I said, it's really long, really nice chain. I keep saying really nice chain. But everyone's always, you'll hear on YouTube and all these people, they're like, oh, Monet, look for this name out, look for what's the other one, like, is it Vasari? And if I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Vasari, or there's a bunch of name designer. Now this isn't silver or anything. This is fashion or costume jewelry. It's not silver or gold or anything like that, or platinum. It's not anything like that. But Monet is a good name to look out for. Good designer name to look out for, because it does go above average. If this had no name, maybe like $10. Because it has a name, we're probably looking more into the $20 range for this type of chain. We might be able to get more, maybe more like 30. It's not going to be crazy. Like some people will say, oh, it's Monet, we're going to get 50, 60, $70. Oh, Monet or this or any other, brand from that era or anything like that. We're going to get 50, 60, $70. You're not going to get that. Maybe those people can, because they do have a following, but more like about, $20, maybe $30 on the high end. But it's really cool. It's really, really nice. It's really, really shiny as well too. So just a nice piece. So we did pick that up as well, along with other stuff. So I definitely have stuff to list. But what I wanted to really, really talk about, and we'll just get right into it right off the bat, is about the truth about reselling. And because I watched the Pegasus Lounge, and I don't know his real name, just go by his call sign, I guess. And he keeps harping or keeps preaching that reselling, as we show it on YouTube, is not a business. But other people have said, and I'll say it again, in the eyes of the government, it is a business. But then he goes, even in the eyes of, just because it's in the eyes of the government doesn't make it a business. Well, we all operate within the United States, and well, most of us, I shouldn't say we all, those that live within the United States, operate under the U.S. government. And so therefore, if that's what they say it is, that's what it is. But what he is really, really trying to, what he really means is, it's not a self-sustaining business. Like if the leader of that business is something like In-N-Out. Let's just take In-N-Out for example. In-N-Out Burger. If the manager leaves, the business doesn't crumble. If the owners leave, the business doesn't just, that's it, falls apart. It continues and goes. They have repeatable processes. They get all their meat, and they get all their buns in. It's the wheels keep going. The system keeps going. It doesn't stop when a leader suddenly leaves, or one employee or two employees leaves, three employees leave. Everything still goes. The business still runs. And in reselling, and what you see a lot of people who resell on eBay or other platforms, for that matter, if I, just me for example, if I stop listing, if I stop sourcing, if I stop anything, that's it. That is it. I hit the other keyboard by accident. I am essentially the founder, leader, president, number one employee of the month every month person for this business. And if I stop shipping all of a sudden, then that's it. I'll get a bunch of dings on my account is what will happen. If I stop sourcing, then where are the items going to come from? Yes, I do have, let's call them temp employees, as in family. That helps. But ultimately, everything rests on my shoulders. And if I'm not here, and like many out there, including those that have, that also rely upon social media, they are the face of that channel. And if they stop, everything stops. the money stops, the business stops, the business goes on pause or stops forever, or who knows, So if you stop, that's it, done. And the type of business that he is trying to, promote, and the one that he says is, is the best, and in his eyes, is a business that you can easily find products for, a business where if you go down sick, the business will still run, the business will still operate. If we go down sick, what do we might have to put our store on time away mode. And what does that mean? We might not get that many sales. Our listings start going down, so therefore we might not get as much traffic. We're not refreshing our store. I'll touch on that as well too, about listing and everything like that. So it's not something that where if I leave, I can, or the business will continue. It won't continue without me in it. Unless I train people to continue. Can I train people to source like I do? That might be a little more difficult. He talks a lot about having replenishable items. Definitely easier if I can source my items. If I could source my items in a fashion or from a place in which it's, I can get the same types of things that are selling. Obviously, they have to sell, right? So if I can source, he talks about, being an importer, and which is great. I mean, that's what I did with my, with my jewelry, when I had my jewelry website. It would, most of it would come, I talked about this before, most of it would come out of China. And that was a little more self-sustaining. That was just kind of me monitoring the website. Do I want to run a sale? Do I want to send coupons out? What's advertising look like? So I wasn't really handling merchandise. It was all just a self, it kind of ran itself. With a little bit of intervention from me. Reselling, what I'm doing and showing everybody here, I shouldn't really say reselling, but just, because there's lots of products that, by the time it gets to the end user, it's been bought and sold, bought and sold, bought and sold over and over again. By the time it gets to a store, like a Best Buy, like a Lucky supermarket, or something, there's been many, it's changed hands many, many times. So it's been bought and then sold, resold. So, what we're doing here, going to Goodwills, going to flea markets, going to, garage sales and all that, that's not, I've talked about garage sales, how garage sales for me just don't, produce enough inventory. And some days you got to drive around all around the city, and you might only turn up with a few items. You might turn up with nothing. That happens from time to time. And, it's not something that, it's not like finding all these great items at a garage sale is not something that's necessarily repeatable. Let's say I found, this digital camera at one garage sale. By the time I go to the next garage sale, they might not necessarily have a digital camera. They might have a necklace. So two very, very different items, very different categories, and that's not necessarily, good for every business, I should say. Not necessarily good for every business. What would be great is if I could just find a bunch of digital cameras every time I go out. That would be amazing. Or if I stick to gold jewelry, that would be great. If I could just find a bunch of gold jewelry all the time and stick to that, that would be great and amazing. But also, too, what I really enjoy about it is the diversity of finding these items. I can easily go back to selling jewelry online, and, go back to using my own sources and everything. But it just, I would spend a lot of time on the computer, just going in there, checking the store, checking the metrics, and okay, do I need to adjust any of my ads here and there? Do I want to put more money over here to Facebook, or do I want to put more money to Google ads? Okay, keywords. It was more just, basically office work, computer work. I enjoy being out there at thrift stores, and I enjoy doing garage sales for the most part. I do enjoy them. I wish they were more closer. I enjoy going to the flea market. I enjoy those types of things. I enjoy when I get a call, be like, hey, I got some stuff. Do you want to come take a look at it? Sure, yeah, I'll go over there, take a look at what you got, and make a purchase and all that. I enjoy all that stuff, and that's fun. So, yeah, it's definitely, if you want to build this large, business where you want less hands-on, then yes, he makes a great point that you should find items that you can replenish in your store, that you can, they're easily, like a keyboard. I talk about keyboards all the time. I have a great source that can get a low cost for Apple keyboards, and I just re-up the list. I just add more to the listing, add another, however more keyboards. I have 5 keyboards. I'll just make sure, clean them up, test them all, boom, and then load them all up into the store. Just like, all right, add 5 more to that listing. The mic, actually, I just got another, I have a little mouse right here. I still am waiting to test. I just cleaned it up. The last one I got here, I need to test. So what are these mice? These mice sell all the time. If you can get them for $1 or $2, they'll sell for right around between $10 to $15. They're great little mice. Wait, no, not this one. I think this one's more like $8 or $9. I have to double check. Either way. But I clean it up, test it, and then boom, I just add another one to the list. Add another one to the listing. That's it. Piece of cake. That's easy. The hardest part is finding, jewelry for one thing. I'm going to have to go in there, take some nice pictures of this, create a whole new listing. It's just going to be a one-off item. It'd be great if I had multiple of these, and I can do like 1, 2, 3, 4, create one listing and go with multiples. So, to each his own. Whatever you find, I should say fun, because obviously if it's not fun, it just becomes a grind, and I don't like that, but some people do. Some people like that, which is why I always preach, find people, creators, or whoever that are, making a living, reselling or whatever, and find people that you connect with. Find everybody's different. Not everybody's methods or what I find enjoyable, you might not find enjoyable. So definitely, watch and learn from everybody, and follow the path that you find more enjoyable. When I worked in the hospital, I've talked about this. When I worked, I enjoyed it. I generally enjoyed working there, and it's now over 20 years I've been there, and it's not because of just the time. I've talked about, and I did a whole video on what happened with the hospital and everything, and yes, I still do enjoy it there, but it became being there for as long as I have, and being able to find enjoyment for that amount of time is cool and great. But it finally reached a point where the enjoyment was kind of getting sucked out of me, and I was like, you know what, time for me to move on. I tell people this. I tell people this at the hospital too. If you're not happy, move on. There's plenty of stuff to do. There's plenty of stuff to do around here. Anywhere basically. Just move on. If you're not happy, move on. You're just stuck here complaining all the time. Move on. Do something else. And I've always done reselling. I've always done it. I've always, it's been something since the 90s, basically. And it's always been fun for me. And that's the biggest thing now, is shifting to what I find fun, and making it work, getting it to make money for me, and making what I enjoy, turning what I enjoy into a money-making thing. I was going to say machine, but just thing. Either way, speaking of other way, I was going to talk about listing. What was I going to talk about? It was listing. Oh man, I forgot what I was going to bring up about that. Hopefully it comes to me during the video and I'll bring it up. If not, I'll bring it up in another video. But I was watching another video channel that I like, and they pretty much talk about live selling and whatnot, and district, and they brought on a guy who wasn't a good, and I commented on the video too. When I feel passionate about something, I will comment, but who wasn't a good advertiser. This person is a district marketplace owner. For those who don't know district is basically like a Shopify. It is the platform that these other companies build their websites on, build their e-commerce sites on, and they kind of shaped it or developed it in a way to really appeal to live selling. They have a normal, like an eBay, like you can just list an item on there. But you have to join a marketplace on there. And it's just like Shopify. So you create a website on there. I think it's still like you would have to reach out to District, the developers, so that way they can invite you into it. I think that's how it still is, but I'm not 100% sure. So they have an app for the iPhone, it's a District app. And then you would have to join a marketplace there. And there's many, and they did what Whatnot did, and they're trying to pull in creators who have following, so that way they can, start making money. They want to make money by selling things. That's how they're going to make money. They make money by selling things. And then I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I believe District takes like a 5% cut of all sales that happen on the website. And then it's up to those that create their, when they go in there, they create their own website. And then they can bring on other sellers. So like a big YouTube creator can open up a store on there. And then they can actually set a percentage themselves, like how much they want to take now. So District might take 5, if I'm not mistaken, and then other creators, they can set how much they want to take as well too, from sales. That is sales that happen on their platform. Then and they obviously can sell items themselves. Then they can invite other people onto their platform. I keep saying platform, and District is the platform, and then the let's just say business, for example. The business is built upon District platform. Then they can bring on people into their business to sell on their official business website. So they actually create a physical website. It's still District. But they create a website within District that is their own. And then they invite people. They can sell their own items, and then they invite other people to come on there and be like, "Hey, you want to sell some items?" And what's the advantage? So the person that was on the show, and they were pretty much trying to promote District, but they weren't doing a very good job of it. They were kind of in. It wasn't even. I wouldn't even call it a debate. I wouldn't even call it a discussion. It was more. It wasn't even an argument. It was basically just one person asking questions, and then the other person just hitting them with all kinds of gibberish, basically. Hitting them with all kinds of words every time. And the person would go, "Well, what's the benefit here?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, but what's the benefit?" "Well, no, you tell me what the benefit is," basically. Like it was very strange, bizarre. And this person actually reminds me of a friend of mine. I'm not going to say who it is exactly, but this person actually reminds me of a friend of mine who is, a unique character. I do call him a friend, and but he's one of those people who, I think there are many groups of friends that have this type of person in there, who never grew up in the ghetto, but they always act like they're in the ghetto, but they overemphasize it. I grew up in the ghetto, so I know what it's like. I've been there. And these people, like this friend of mine actually grew up in Los Gatos, California. If you know about Los Gatos, we're talking, it's a very affluent area. And he went over, I mean, he was also an aspiring rapper as well too. So it would overemphasize like the way, I guess, he thought people acted that lived in the ghetto. And it was kind of funny and annoying at the same time. I'm like, dude, just act normal. That's not. But that's how this guy kind of acts. That's what he reminds me of. But he wasn't doing a good argument for District. And I don't have a District store, and I don't ever plan on having a District store. The biggest selling point on District, I will tell you right now, if you're interested, if you're interested in live selling, I'm not interested in live selling. I don't want to do it. That's not to say that I won't do it in the future. I just don't feel like doing it. But if you are interested in live selling live, being in front of a camera and selling things, QVC style, in my opinion, District is going to be the best option for you if you are just starting out. Nonetheless, no matter what platform you choose to sell live on, Whatnot or District, it's going to take work. Everything is going to take work. You're going to need to build up an audience. What District provides, the best thing about District, every place has their ups and downs, their positives, their negatives, but the best thing that District brings is the fact that all these websites, all these other companies that are built upon the platform of District are by creators, and the creators bring their audience. So it's kind of like, think of it how some like Linus Tech Tips, a guy I watch, sells merch on their store. They have an audience that buys that merch. Well, think of the items that you find, buy and sell, like creators, like some people do, like Tiffany of Thrifting Vegas. She has a big audience that buys stuff from her. So it's kind of like she doesn't have to make merch. She goes out and finds the merch, and then she sells it to her audience. And kind of similar. That's what District is, basically, is the creator's little merch store, and buy from my friends and the people that I have here, because they have similar interests as me, and they buy similar items like me. And so a lot of the people that go on to sell with these other creators, they have to be vetted. So they're not just letting everybody on there willy-nilly. They are kind of vetted, and they make sure that they have a nice, healthy ecosystem. But you, as a person who may or may not have a audience, get an audience. You get a built-in audience that may purchase from you. Now, where that audience really helps is not, in my opinion, not necessarily static selling. It's more in the live aspect of it. And I definitely believe District really, really focused on that live, selling things live. And so you'll be able to go live on someone's platform, and hopefully some people can come on like that follow that creator whose marketplace you're a part of, and can buy and give you a little bit of a jump start. And that creator can also jump on to the show with you and help you and promote it, and they can promote it themselves, and they obviously have an incentive to promote it as well. I have my own, opinions, my own concerns with it. It opens up, and I believe I've talked about this in the previous show. I'm not going to get into it here, but I have my own concerns and issues with it that I definitely think need to be worked out. Not a super, super big deal at the moment, just because it is still a small place. Not many people know about District. It's still small, not very big. But as it gets bigger, the bigger you get, the more problems you have. So that's my 2 cents on that, if you are interested. But that's a really, really good whiskey. Okay, 10th Street whiskey. I don't know if they yeah, that's a whole other thing. You can go down the rabbit hole of whiskey, and whiskey, like whiskey producers. It's so tough. It's easy, it's easy to distill whiskey, distill a spirit. But as far as getting it out there and distributed, so difficult to get it out there and distributed. That's why there's a lot of you'll see a lot of small time creators, just local to a certain area, and that's it. So everybody struggles with selling stuff. There's all kinds of different hurdles and all kinds of different obstacles, to try to get your product out there to market. So There's all kinds of regulations on the labels, what you can call it, what you have to put on there, all the warnings. And not only that, but, whiskey takes time. There's a, you can get started and you might not have a good batch for a few years. So there's always obstacles, no matter what you're trying to do and what you're trying to sell. Just trying to get you can bake whiskey and then not have anybody distribute it for you, and you're like, then you got to worry about every single state law that's out there. I know, if I'm not mistaken, I think Texas still, you cannot have spirits, I believe. I think you can have beer and wine delivered to your house, but as far as spirits go, you can't have them delivered to your front door. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's how it still is. They have their own, like a conglomerate of liquor stores that, kind of have a stranglehold on the liquor or market over there in Texas, which is kind of strange to me. But here in California, you can get it delivered to your door. You can get it takeout if you want. I remember there's a place over here called Aki's. It's a kind of like a Mexican fusion-ish type of restaurant. The food isn't really that great, but they have these they call industrial margaritas, and they taste really good. They're really good, refreshing. But man, they pack. It is, first and foremost, you don't taste any alcohol in it. So you're just drinking this thing down, and I think there's a 2-drink limit or a 3-drink limit per person. And they really, really do focus, and they really do regulate that, because these margaritas, and then you can get different kinds. You can get like a margarita bourbon in it. They pack a punch. Like, they're one of those ones where you're sitting there, you're sipping, you're hanging out with your friends, and you're enjoying a little bit of food. And they don't serve like food that like stick to your stomach kind of food, stick to your ribs kind of food. It's kind of light and airy. So then you go to stand up, and it's like, oh my god, what in the world? But it's a great, like, Friday night, Saturday night, that place is packed to the gills. Okay, if you're here for the what sold, let's get on to the what sold. I'm getting a message here. I forgot to put my phone on do not disturb. But either way, while I'm on my phone, one thing I do really like, and I do keep an eye on, I think we all keep an eye on it as eBay sellers, is our feedback. And sometimes I'll go through there and just kind of read it, just to make sure, first of all, make sure I don't have any negatives or neutrals, and see what the problem is. There is a problem. But right here, hold on. Okay, do not disturb. There we go. Now we're off. But thank you, 5-star seller. These are all my most recent feedback. Item exactly described. But the ones I really, really like are right here, like item in perfect condition. Seller very helpful when I had questions. Fast shipping, careful packing, shipped quickly, packed nicely. Quick shipment, excellent protected packing, packed securely, delivered fast, works great. Great customer service, quick shipping. Very happy with purchase, packed with care, shipped fast. Those are the things I like, shipped fast, and even though I said I don't really care much for the packing, but there's an art form to packing things up, and it's always nice to see that your package made it there safely, and all the processes and processes that I've developed over the years for packing are just things I've learned. I've learned how to, save a box, because not everything necessarily has to go in a box. You saw that packing video where I put a terracotta cross in a padded poly bag. I showed you how to do it, how to make sure it gets there safely and securely. Sometimes, just learn all these little, not necessarily to cut corners, but you learn how to save money here and there, because boxes are obviously more expensive than poly bags and padded poly bags, and You know, packing paper is more expensive than, I'm sorry, it's cheaper than bubble wrap. So when you can get away with using that as opposed to bubble wraps, all kinds of different things to try to help you save a little bit of money. All right. Okay. So first off, my nose got a little itchy there. Hold on, I rubbed my eye. I gotta rub my eye. I gotta turn on this fan. It's getting hot in here. Turn that on really quick and make sure it's not. Oh yeah, it's not too low. Okay. Barnyard Animals Vintage Fisher Price. Really cool. I actually have this whole set in my collection because I used to have this when I was a kid. I have the barn and all the animals and everything that came with it. But I had this when I was a kid, so I have this in my collection. Every time I find them, I'll pick them up and sell them. They don't go for that much. I'm trying to find where oh, here we go. They don't really go for that much, but $10.46 is what they sold for the pair. $6.24 is what they paid in shipping. Padded poly bag is what this went into. And this is just something that, you know, I would recommend. Maybe collecting a bunch of animals for a good price and selling it. I wouldn't recommend picking up one or two of them at all, but it's just nostalgic for me. And just like I said, just reminds me of my childhood. I have this whole collection. It's not my original collection. I don't know what happened to that one. But I did find someone locally. I bought it on, I think it was OfferUp. It wasn't even like Facebook Marketplace. It was OfferUp, and I found it, the whole collection, in good shape too. And I bought it, and every time I find these little pieces, if I find them at the flea market, if I find them at the bins, I'll pick them up. Make sure they're clean too as well and not broken, and I'll resell them. So those are really, really cool, and you know, that's the fun of it for me too as well. Not getting rich here, but hope to get rich off other things that I sell. But I'm not getting rich here, but cool. We made money on it, so that's really cool as well too. What else? Barnyard Animals. Where's my mouse at? Which way am I going here? I feel like heat coming from right here. I think it's from my other computer. I think my other computer is still on over there. Got 3 computers here on this desk. Actually, technically 4. Okay, really cool. I've talked about this last week. Powerline adapters. Here's another one that just sold. I just picked this one off the bins. It was a single. I talked about in my previous video. You need 2 of them to actually use them, but you can expand it with more. Expand your power line, network. And this one's really cool. This is more of a technically a faster one. You're not going to get. This is 2,000 megabits or 2 gigabits. You're not going to get that nowhere near that speed. But obviously, the more that it can handle, the better. You'll probably get, based on my experience, maybe around 700, maybe 800 megabits. You're not going to get close to 2,000 megabits. But it's really cool. And it has a pass-through right here, so you can still plug a device in. And it's sold for, padded polybags, what this went into, $23.49, $7.10 what they paid in shipping. So I'll pick these up. The singles I'll pick up if they are this, the higher end ones. Not so much the lower end ones. Maybe I pick it up if it's cheap and then just wait to see if I find another one. The lower end ones I'll try to pick up in a pair if I can. And I might even just pass them up if they're just singles. Now, this was an interesting find. When I'm at the bins, I'm looking for box sets when it comes to DVDs, CDs, anything like that. That's where, I won't necessarily pick up singles. That's for myself. But sometimes I will come across some singles that are worth it. The box sets, in my opinion, tend to be worth it. $42.18 what this sold for. $6.72 what they paid in shipping. And this did go in a box. It's fairly large. I did put it in a box. It went medium mail, by the way. So medium mail is a service that you can select for USPS. It offers cheaper shipping, but it has to be DVDs with movies on it. It can't be blank like CDs. It can't be blank CDs. They actually have to have music on it. You can use books, no advertisements in it. You can't do comic books. So there are some rules around that, but it keeps the price low for shipping to help keep you competitive when you're selling But Sherlock Holmes, definitely something to keep your eye out for. It is a DVD box set. The box was just jacked. It was. It doesn't show it here, but it's completely ripped up down here, ripped up on top. I couldn't even get the DVDs out. I had to. It was like stuck on the inside. It wasn't glued. I don't know what happened to it, but I was able to rip the thing apart to see that DVDs were still in there. So, really, really cool sale. Sorry, just had to cough really quick. But really, really cool sale. Definitely keep your eye out for box sets and look them up. If you see a box set, make sure they have the CDs in there, or CDs and or DVDs in there, and then look them up. You know, you'll be surprised. Some of them do go for pretty good money. Definitely keep your eye out for the Sherlock Holmes. Now, something else I wanted to show you. I actually got 2 pictures of this one. So this is just a Microsoft mouse. Sold for $15.44, $6.02 what they paid in shipping. I gotta turn this off because it's creating too much wind, and now it's making me cough. But what's really cool, when a small padded poly bag, by the way. But first of all, it has this old school PS2, PS/2, not the PlayStation 2. It has the old school PS2 connector, Microsoft. You might be thinking, man, who still uses that? People still use it. But look, it has a little roller ball. If you remember the little roller ball, they'd always get full of hair and dirty and everything. You have to open it up, clean it out. It still sells. These things still sell, and they sell sometimes better than modern mice. But really, really cool. Definitely keep your eye out for it. I think I have an adapter. Where is it at? This is the adapter you'll need if you want to test them with modern computers here. So it has the USB, and it has your keyboard and your mouse plug right here. The green one's the mouse, the purple one's the keyboard. Just plug them into here, whatever one you have, and then USB, boom, into your computer. So really, really cool. You will need one of these to test them out if your computer doesn't have any of this in the back. Many don't have this anymore in the back. But people still look for them. People still buy them. I'm telling you, when you get stuck on a type of mouse, you get stuck on it, and you gotta have it, and you pay up for it. I mean, this isn't crazy money, but it's still something cool. Okay, Barbie dolls, for the most part, I stay away from them. Most of them just aren't really worth it, unless I get a big old collection of them together and sell them that way. However, this one here, the Frank Sinatra Pink Label collector doll, this one sold for, I think it was $50. $50. $6.53 what they paid in shipping. I think I could have gotten more for this. This did go in a large padded poly bag. Yes, a large padded poly bag. Trust me. I gotta do a video. I should have done a video on this, on how I wrap this up. But 4 times in bubble wrap, and then when you tape off the top and the bottom, so it doesn't slide back and forth. It creates almost a double the layers once you fold them one on top of the other. And so then you have like 8 layers on top, and it protects those corners, and basically you're just creating a giant pillow with it. And then you put it in a large padded poly bag on top of that too. So and I learned this from someone that a long time ago, that I was actually buying collector or Star Wars action figures brand new, when I used to collect brand new stuff like that. And I would get them in. I would buy it regularly from this person because they had great stuff, and they would send it to me in padded poly bag. I remember the first time I got one, I was like, dang, they sent it in a padded poly bag. And then at the time where I lived, they would shove everything in these boxes. We had one at the houses that we lived in. They had like one area where you go collect your mail with different little boxes, and it was shoved into one of those boxes, and I pulled it out. It was perfectly fine. There was no issues with it. And I'd open up a communication with this person, message them back and forth, and how do you do this, that, and you know, then they were like, hey, you can do this, and because I've seen, you know, packages, collector pieces like this get completely crushed in boxes. So boxes won't necessarily help your items. The boxes definitely provide more structure, but you know, they can still get crushed too. And so they said just create a nice pillow, and you know, with bubble wrap and everything. Bubble wrap does an amazing job to protect your items. So really, really cool. So cool piece here. Definitely something to keep your eye out for. Did I say it's over 50 bucks? Over 50 bucks. Definitely a Barbie doll to look out for. Now, see, if you can see here, the packaging was coming undone already when I found it and got it. I think I probably could have gotten more had the packaging been more not so messed up. But still pretty cool. 50 bucks for a Barbie. That's, you know, in my opinion, that's amazing. Like a hat. If a hat goes for over 20 bucks, that's amazing. If a Barbie goes for 50 bucks, that's amazing. Because typically they do not. So really, really cool piece here. I think that's the end of the line. Yeah, that's the end of the line. Okay. That's the end of the video. Because I gotta get some water now that my throat's dried out from this little fan for that small time I had the fan on. Okay, take a breath. Thank you for watching, and if you did like the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below, and we'll catch you on Thursday with another What Sold. So Tuesday, Thursdays are these talking What Sold videos. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are the thrifting videos. So, yeah, whatever you're interested in. Thanks for watching, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the comments. Let me know what you think of the pickups, and we'll catch you in the next video. Hey, you've made it to the end. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video by hitting the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel by hitting my little round icon down below. It really does help us out here. Also, you'll find a couple of selections. You'll see a playlist of videos to watch, and my most recent video that I did upload.